You know, it's funny because I've actually thought about this a lot recently. Not too long ago, back when Episode 7 released in theaters, I was interviewed for a local newspaper. The same question was asked: what is my Star Wars story? Why am I so engrossed in Star Wars? And why do I care so much about the movies and the series and the fandom and all that kind of stuff? And I, it's weird because it's, I've heard it explained a bunch of times that it's an entity on its own that kind of lives like the Force does in the movies. When I was younger, I had no clue what Star Wars was. I was born in the 90s. I was a kid who lived in an era where Star Wars was kind of dead, in a sense, as far as the movies goes. Uh, First time I ever experienced Star Wars was Episode 6, I believe. It was actually on a little TV in an arcade where I was playing video games and saw this movie playing and I was like, what is this? I don't know what this is, but it's interesting. It looks cool. And I stopped playing and actually just started watching the movie. And I just saw people swinging laser swords at each other. And I thought, man, this is the coolest thing in the world. And I didn't know that, like I said at the time, that it was Star Wars. About 3 or 4 years later, Episode 2 released in the theaters. And by that time, I was like, hey, that's Star Wars. I know what Star Wars is because it's pop culture. I want to go see this movie because I like sci-fi. I like this kind of stuff. Let me go see what this is. And I go watch episode 2, and I was instantly hooked. I absolutely loved episode 2, and from then on, I went and saw episode 3 when it came out in theaters. And after that, I started expanding my knowledge of Star Wars by watching all the other movies, reading a lot of books, a lot of Wikipedia articles on like summaries and things like that. Uh, I got really big into Star Wars, and as I was getting older, trying to decide of a career path I wanted to go on, I came to a conclusion that I really like filmmaking. I like the magic that goes into making movies like Star Wars, and I attribute most of my career decision on Star Wars being my inspiration. It's so crazy for me because Star Wars is not a movie to me. Star Wars is not a series or something that I enjoy. Star Wars for me is actually my life. It's hard for me to see myself in the way I am without Star Wars. Star Wars is a big portion of what makes my life. It makes it what it is today. And it's again, it's crazy to think about things like that, but it is. Star Wars shaped who I am. It made me want to be the person I am today, and the person that I aim to be in the next 10, 15 years was making films and features, and I want to make a Star Wars movie. I mean, that's my biggest goal. And so, yeah, it's crazy. And I mean, George Lucas was a genius doing the things that he did back then, and now with J.J. Abrams and Ryan Johnson and all them, it's awesome. I love it, and I can't get enough of it. And I'm so glad that it exists in the fashion that it does with TV shows and comic books and novels and things like that. Because it like I said, it's not something I enjoy. For me, Star Wars is part of my life, and it's a passion for me. I can't thank people enough for the filmmakers and the actors and all of them for doing Star Wars, because that is the movie series that made me today who I am, and I love every minute of it.